So at the minute I'm got to set my eyebrows, so I've just glued them down, and now I've got to pack some powder on them to make sure they hold and stay in place. So a tip is to press as hard as possible to make sure the powder goes like deep into any little crevices where the glue hasn't actually gotten into.
So who's ready for a wonderful show tonight? Good for you. Now let's try that again. Who's ready for a wonderful show tonight? Who's ready to see me get pissed tonight? Sad news, I've got another shift after this. But it's fine, because we've got loads of other performers tonight. Is anyone friends of any of the performers tonight? No. Who do you hate the most?
Mandy's style, I'd say, is trying to be the most colourful thing in a room. So when I'm stood next to other drag queens, hopefully I'll be like the sparkliest one there or the brightest one there. But in general, I think I try to go for a more professional look more than anything. Like I was saying to one of the other drag queens, Kiki, earlier, because they do all of like the wigs for most of the drag queens around here. When they do like a ponytail, they'll have it on top of their head, and I was like, that reminds me of like a Baby Spice sort of vibe. Whereas when she does my ponytails, I like it at the back so that it looks like a businesswoman sort of thing. So I like to look like slick and just ready and professional and just ready to get down and dirty with stuff, but also looking really pretty and fabulous at the same time. And that has got rhinestones all over it. I think attitude-wise, Mandy takes sort of inspiration from like maybe 2006, 2007 Lily Allen.
So, our next performer has come all the way from Paynton tonight. So fucking far. Such a shithole as well.
Sort of rough around the edges, but also looks like someone you wouldn't want to mess with, but also someone you'd want to hang around with. So just confident, like someone who like has that confident energy and will project it in a way that just makes you feel comfortable. Like I feel like I grew up when I was little around those sort of people, like maybe like my sister was sort of that vibe. So I always felt comfortable around them, like just down to earth, regular people.
My name is Venus Vanessa Vibrate. My government name is Jamie Tobias White, and I am Plymouth's Green Bubble Queen.
When it comes to like drag queens and everything, like most of them like have like a colour they specifically like to use or specifically like to wear because it's either their favourite colour or they just know it looks good on them. For me, like green's a very like iffy colour really, because like I think a lot of people like green and a lot of people hate green. And I think it's very fun to be the queen who likes to just go to that area. My first ever look really was like was a look which was again very very boldly green. Like it was a bodysuit, 90s bodysuit, and like a big green styled wig with like a big plait at the front and curls in the back. I didn't style it myself; somebody else styled it, and I made sure when like with my first look and everything, I made sure to like to go all out on it with the look and then the jewelry and the nails. I don't wear nails anymore because honestly those things are just nightmares to remove, because like you got to like stick your hands in like these in like soapy water and let it soak, and you got literally got to pry them off, and it's just it's horrible. It literally feels like being like in a drag saw trap. But seeing this and everything, it makes you see how far my makeup came, because like my contouring is very harsh here, my nose contour is very very sharp, not very blended very well, and also I don't do eyebrows anymore because like what are those things? But overall, I think for my first look, that's not a bad look. This is like a Satan Star Devil look. So it's a flame PVC black and flame bra, corset, and overall the wig and everything was so fun to use. It was so cool to wear. If you look, and it's also the little details where you like, if you look very closely at it, you can see the little baby hairs on the forehead make little sixes. Again, I think my contouring in that one is very solid. My lipstick is pretty good. The eye makeup's very sleek. I wore that for a DJ gig, and yeah, honestly, this horned wig is so cool. Like, everyone loves it, and it's probably the most iconic outfit I've ever worn, really. And I'm so happy I've been like able to wear something like this.
My name is Kiki with the Devil, and I am an 18-year-old trans drag queen here in Plymouth. I would describe myself as like a dancey style queen. I love like high energy music. Like, what I'm most popular for is Take It Off by Kesha. So I'd say like Kiki's more confident. She doesn't really care. Like, Kiki won't be afraid to like say something out of the box. Daniel, he's quite a, like, I'd say shy. He's just like that shy little trans kid that doesn't know how to like be confident.
If I'm in a rush or I've like need something that's simple but effective but very last minute, I'll always go for this outfit, which is what I'm going to wear tonight, just because it's a Wednesday, so it's like nice and easy to do. But as of recent, this one here is like one of my favourites. It's made from scrap material. So I did RuPaul's Drag Con London in January, and on the last night when it closed to the public, they give like everyone just the rest of the night to clean up their stuff. I think we were the last people there, and as we were like taking these boxes out, so like the cars and stuff, we were walking past all these other booths, and people were just leaving like their fabrics and stuff in piles, and I was looking at these fabrics going, ooh, that's lovely. I was like, that's a nice fabric that I wouldn't be able to get hold of in Plymouth. I was like, I want that. And they were like, just grab it. It's only going to go in the bin. And I was like, I'm going to grab it then. So I grabbed this like iridescent, like this, iridescent fabric. Loads of that, and this nice fluffy like blue, purple, pink fabric. And I was like, oh, we can do something with this. And then it got made into that outfit, and I just love it. It's so different compared to what anyone else in Plymouth has, and it's like a one-off, one of a kind. I think the main concept of RuPaul's Drag Race was to do a competition where they grabbed different elements of what different drag queens do. For example, like the sewing, some people will make their own outfits, some people are live singers, some people were lip syncers. They grabbed all of these elements and they wanted people to compete and see who can do the best in each thing. And as it like progressed and it carried on throughout the years, I think people read it as, instead of, oh, different drag queens do different things, drag queens should do everything. And so if you're not a sewer, you can get judged for it right away, which is, I've had that for years. People go, oh, do you make that outfit? And I'm like, no, I've bought it from a shop. And they're like, do you not sew? And like they literally stick up their nose at you. And people just expect that drag queens can automatically do everything, when that's just not the case. If you're not a lip syncer, don't be lip syncing. Do drag that you want to do. Don't do drag that other people are forcing you to do, because or else you're just not going to enjoy it. And if you're not enjoying it, then it will read, and people won't enjoy what you're doing because you're not enjoying what you're doing.
What the problem is with Drag Race and everything is that they always have like these expectations of what drag should be. And I personally think that the drag community and like drag life in general needs to be as diverse as possible, because who wants to go to a drag show and want to see all the queens look the same, doing the same shtick? We don't want to keep doing the same things. Be like, oh, this queen looks like that and they're doing this. Oh, fun. But if someone comes out who's different, it makes you appreciate everything. And when it comes to Drag Race and everything, they have like an expectation when they want it to be their way, not your way, because of how they want like to look. Not about you, it's they care about themselves because, you know, cha-ching. And I don't believe that's personally fair. Just like people ask me to stay and everything, hey Venus, quick question, would you ever go on Drag Race? And my immediate response is always going to be no. I would never ever go on Drag Race. You'll never catch me on Drag Race because I think there's so many things about it which I'm not really going to get into because it's a laundry list. But honestly, it's really not my thing, and I'm not into competitions, and I just know for a fact it would try and change me, which I really do not want, because I'm happy being me the way I am, and I don't need some TV show telling me to be different.
So in my opinion, I like nearly every drag. I mainly like more focus on like the underground style of drag sometimes, but at the same time I do like I go to OMG literally nearly every bloody day of the week, mainly to support Mandy, and like I would say she's like one of my favourite non-RuPaul's Drag Race queens. I think like one negative about RuPaul's Drag Race is that it assumes that every drag queen can afford like these high-end like costumes, wigs, like all that. But one thing people don't realise is that the amount of money that goes into drag, like you're paying for eyeshadow palettes, foundation, concealer, like all that, and all those products will run out, and then you have to go and buy more. This is why I also started my styling wigs from home. It's cheaper to style your own wigs other than like spending about 100 to you can spend like between like 150 to probably about £300 for a good wig. It always comes to amaze me how fast I can actually do a wig. My wig business that I started about mid this year, but only kicked it into gear about August, is called Kiki Wigs. You can find that on Instagram. I'm currently in the process of making a website, so hopefully that will be up by the end of this year. I came to do my business because I remember when I first started doing drag, I did not think I'd be able to afford like all these high paid wigs. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start styling wigs of my own. And then I had people asking me when my wigs were styled, who styled them, am I charging for wigs? So I then decided I wanted to do it as a business. Right, hopefully I don't get burned by my steamer, but it's great. That's the wig business, yeah. So drag actually did help me find my gender identity. When I first got into doing drag, I identified as a cisgender girl. At first I was scared that I wasn't going to be welcome onto the scene because I don't know what other people's opinions on AFAB drag queens. I don't know what people's opinions on certain drag is. The support in the drag scene is really nice in Plymouth because like everyone comes together, especially like to support people.
I mean, first of all, I do not stand for transphobia at all. Like, it's literally the T in the LGBTQIA+ community, and we all need to be there for each other no matter what. I just think it's disgusting how they think they can disparage that part of our community and treat us like we don't deserve to have the treatment or have the right to speak up or have a place to sit at a table, because at the end of the day it's 2023 and it's very sad that like even today we're still dealing with that sort of bullshit.
I do not get why people are so they're just overreacting about men in dresses. I'm not gonna lie, there is worse things in the world. Like, there is like just so much. Like, you've got the cost of living crisis, you've got like the wars that are going on in other countries, and you're more focused on people who are dressing up to entertain. And most of the people who do like the drag queen story times are not even like wearing like what I'm wearing. They will wear like gowns, they'll wear like just stuff that covers up. That's another misconception about drag. Like, you got like nighttime drag and day drag. Like, pride events, like drag queens cover up for the kids in the crowd. They are so sweet, and I've invited them up to dance, and we have so much fun, and like they enjoy it, because eventually like kids are gonna like they're gonna ask questions when they're older. I, for like 2-3 years, I didn't even know who I loved, and it's because I didn't know nothing about relationships. I didn't know nothing about sexuality, and it's annoying. I wish like someone had taught me more about like this kind of stuff. I went through such a massive like spiral of like not knowing who I was, because I didn't know what to do with the feelings I had. If it wasn't for drag, I wouldn't even know who I am. Yeah.
When I started drag, I know I asked the queens who were on the scene at the time, and I was like, how would I do this? And even though I didn't want to like take it serious, like I didn't want to do it professionally at the time, I was just like, I'm going to do like a one-off thing. And I was like, how do I go about it? And I was immediately shut down, and they were like, no, you're not doing that. You can't do that. We're not going to help you. And I was like, oh, that's like, it was like slamming a door in my face. And I was like, what's the point in that? I was like, I thought you were supposed to be like someone who makes people comfortable. So then when I took it upon myself to actually do what I wanted to do anyway, and it started taking off, I was like, I'm not going to be like those people. I'm going to, if people are in that situation that I was in, I'm going to actually help them. I'm not going to slam a door in their face. I'll give them all the right, like tips and tricks that have helped me get to where I am. I'm surprised, I'll be real, I'm surprised that I didn't just give up in that moment and go, oh, sod the lot of you. But no, I carried on because I wanted to, and those people who have those sort of attitudes as drag queens, they're not helping themselves in a way, because people read that and go, oh, you're like either selfish or you just can't be asked. Your heart's not really in it the way it should be. Whereas I think drag queens, if you're gonna do drag, you've got to like something about it. Do you know what I mean? Whether it's like unleashing your art onto a stage, or like a part of yourself and showing it and expressing it on a stage to other people in hopes that they'll relate to it. I think everyone should be able to at least have the option there to be able to at least try it, instead of people shutting it down, because for most people it's a release.
If you want any help mentally, physically, anything, ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. You don't have to be part of the community to support it. As long as you're an ally, it's what really matters. It's how you feel about it. If you appreciate us and if you want to get to know us and you support us, that's all we need to know, and you're welcome in our community no matter what. We'll open our arms to you. As long as you feel like you have a place to sit and you feel like you can be heard, then that's the big picture.